Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tim Takacs, and today we're talking about veterans benefits for Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour.
And I'm Barbara McGinnis, and with us in this segment is John Krenson, who is the CEO of Operation Stand Down, and his support services manager, Miss Nicole Bridges, who is a master's prepared social worker. Welcome, John and Nicole. Can you talk to us a little bit about what is Operation Stand Down and what services do you provide to the veterans?
Sure. Operation Stand Down Tennessee is a 24-year-old nonprofit agency serving veterans primarily in the upper middle Tennessee area. And our roots are in serving homeless veterans, but we offer a variety of services to all veterans. For example, the Veteran Services Officer for Davidson County has her office at our location to ensure that she's much more accessible to veterans and their families in town. We provide assistance with careers and employment. We provide assistance with VA home loan workshops, financial counseling and coaching, legal services, just a whole gamut and array of different services.
And it's more than just homeless veterans at this point, any veteran.
That's right, any veteran can qualify.
So who's your typical client?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So if you'd asked me 5-10 years ago, it would have been a homeless veteran. But with an increase in the number of veterans from the Cold War era, and especially from the post 9/11 era, we've broadened that reach. And we also see ourselves in a position to prevent people from falling into really difficult, vulnerable times. So we like to intervene early. So typical client, these days it's almost, so many veterans don't know that they are veterans or consider themselves such. So many women veterans, for whatever reason, don't perceive themselves as veterans. They think of old men wearing the American Legion or VFW hats, that's who a veteran is. Mm-hmm. So many times we have to educate them. We talk a lot about post 9/11 veterans. People will assume that they are veterans that are in their 20s. Well, I'm a post 9/11 veteran, I'm in my 50s. Mm-hmm. My commanders from 15 years ago are in their mid 60s, and they're post 9/11 veterans as well. So when we talk about post 9/11, it's not just millennials, it runs all generations.
So post 9/11 means anyone who served in the service after 9/11.
After 9/11,
even
exactly.
If you joined in 1976?
That's right. So there's a number of benefits that came on the scene after 9/11, and if you served in uniform and overseas particularly, then you may qualify for those benefits.
So do those benefits have an income or age, or what limitations or restrictions, if any, are there?
Yeah, so there's a variety depending on what some of the services are, and Nicole is our residential expert on our supportive services.
Well, I would say for the homeless folks, there is an income limit, of course. Those are federal programs that we work with, and there are income guidelines that we must adhere to. But for the most of our programs, as far as employment, of course, getting veterans benefits, we don't even look at employment or their income. We just want to help them get to where reach their goals, essentially.
Mm-hmm. I'll give a great example too. We had a gentleman who'd been very successful in the financial advisement world, but he'd been exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam, and the new benefit came out for those who'd been exposed to Agent Orange, and we were able to help him get connected with those benefits because he had earned those.
Mm-hmm.
What about if you're not a veteran, but you're a spouse of a veteran? Any programs for them?
Yes.
The VSO in our office, we also have a VA employee who comes in twice a month, and we have now on staff a VSO 5 days a week in our office. So they are also able to work with folks who need to connect for those pension and compensation benefits for survivors.
Sure.
So these are benefits that we were talking about there, that Berkeley was talking about earlier. So you're actually helping veterans to get a pension benefit or a service-connected compensation benefit.
Exactly.
So your office is one place where veterans can go, or widows of veterans.
Absolutely. Okay. So we have 3 full-time staff between our own staff and the Davidson County staff, and then we have a federal VSO that also comes in a couple times a month. So we are very robust when it comes to being available for.
And I know you've talked about a couple of times already about your office. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about where specifically your offices are?
Sure. So our office in Nashville is at 12th Avenue and Edge Hill, 1125. We're right there, prominent location right there on the corner, easily accessible. And we also have an office in Clarksville at 400 Madison Street, and we're doing more and more virtually as well. So you can access us through our website as well as on Facebook, and we are looking over the coming years to provide more of our services and delivery channels through those sites. And also we're looking at how can we push out our services to where veterans are, as opposed to trying to continually to pull them into our facilities. So we have a lot of initiatives to universities, but also to employers, and we'll also be looking at assisted living homes and other places like that where we can take our experts and our resources to the veterans.
Well, interesting you mentioned Operation Stand Down offers some legal services. Obviously that's intriguing. What does that include?
Yes, we do.
We have the Legal Aid Society comes in once a week. That's on Wednesdays from 11 to 1, and they provide services for up to 8 veterans each week. Then we also have the Public Defender's Office that comes in once a month. They tend to work with more misdemeanors, criminal offenses, but the weekly basis is more for the civil issues.
So this is beyond just dealing with the appeals process for a pension. This is just
for legal
general
matters.
Legal services.
Oh, absolutely, because many times a veteran can't get a job or can't get housing because they may have something in their past that needs to be resolved, and so we are able to help them get those situations squared away.
So they call your office and say, you know, I've been charged with a DUI or whatever it might be or something, and then they come into your office and they meet with someone from legal services or a public defender's office.
That's
Generally, a DUI would probably go through vet court. However, we can be a conduit to get them into services.
Okay, so that you mentioned vet court, Veterans Court. Tell us a little bit about that. That's kind of off script here a little bit. Are you familiar with that? I guess you are.
Very much so, yeah. We're strong partners with the Davidson County Veterans Court, and also we work actively with the Veterans Court in Montgomery County. And so that's an opportunity where a veteran who has, committed a crime, and many times that crime may have been as a result of some PTS or self-medicating they were using to help relieve some of that PTS. So this is an opportunity for them to have an alternate type of sentence. They enter into a program with very strict structured rules, but as long as they adhere to them, they may even have their offense expunged.
So it kind of sounds like that may be sometimes maybe the first contact that you might have with many veterans through the Veterans Court, perhaps? Or?
In some cases, I wouldn't say. I mean, not a vast majority of it, but we will get contact to veterans through that. Or many times, as Nicole said, we can be the conduit of a veteran coming in, and we say, okay, here's the opportunity you need. So.
Right.
Okay, so this is a switch in gears here. Sometimes veterans come to us and their records have an error. Do you help them get could you be a resource to help getting those records corrected?
Their military records?
Yes.
Our VSOs can definitely work for an upgrade. Oftentimes they might have a separation, their discharge might be unfavorable, whereas if they got out today, they wouldn't get that discharge at all. So we definitely want to work to get those discharge upgrades because that would open up benefits for them.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So are you helping veterans with all types of all types of benefits, and then kind of like, in some ways, like a clearinghouse and making sure they get to the right place?
Exactly. I mean, our mission is to connect veterans to the community and connect veterans to resources. So we make it our business to understand what all those resources are that are available, whether they're public or private.
Right.
And so we're like a welcome center. Veterans are familiar with welcome center. Every installation or military post has a welcome center. We're also like a concierge. So we provide many services directly ourselves. A lot of Nicole's team does that, but also Nicole's team and many of our other staff members will work with other nonprofit organizations or government entities to make sure we can connect the veterans to those resources.
Because it sounds like to me to us is that there's a concept called no wrong door.
Yes.
Where you can go anywhere.
Exactly.
And it sounds like if you call the VA health system, they'll put you in touch with somebody that they need, whether it's for veterans pension benefits or health care. And it sounds like kind of like you're the same types of organizations.
Exactly. Even a veteran with a dishonorable discharge who won't qualify for benefits because technically they're not a veteran, we can then get them connected with other civilian social services that can help them out. So no one has to leave Stand Down without having some kind of a warm handoff.
Could people pay for these? Do they pay Operation Stand Down? Is it completely?
It's no charge to veterans.
No charge to
veterans. We do have one program. It's a transitional housing program for veterans coming off the street, and after they've been in the program 90 days, they have a fee that they pay, but that is to help them. It's a teaching tool to help them learn how to budget and make payments on time. So it's less about income for us. It's more about developing good habits for them so they can be self-sustainable.
Great. Yeah. I think we've got some contact information that we need to put up so that people know how to find Operation Stand Down.
Terrific, and we look forward to hearing from them.
All right, great. Well, thank you, John, and thank you, Nicole, for being here. It's time for another break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking with more advocates for veterans, the Veterans Coalition of Montgomery County, and the VFW. Stay tuned.